Hey everyone, I wanted to talk a little bit in this episode about dips. The exercise is a dip. So your tricep and your chest development, it's a really standard exercise, and it's something that I think a lot of us learned in high school, and we've been doing it ever since. And today it's relatively rare. You don't see a lot of people doing it, and specifically if they are doing it, it's usually on the weight-assisted machine. And so with a dip, well actually, let me go back a second here. The typical way I think anymore is really a bench dip. I see that a lot, and I see it oftentimes with trainers too, having their clients do it. And the thing about dips is that, here's the thing, if you're relatively well aligned and you have good shoulder placement and things are where they should be, then the dip isn't really a problem. But with a lot of people that have very rounded shoulders, and you might have tightness in your pecs, or maybe your elbows are, that's typically a pain point for you. When you go into a dip, you put a tremendous amount of stretch on your anterior shoulder, and that can really be a problem in certain populations. So when I look at people doing dips, as soon as they get off, or they come off of the bench, for instance, I look at their shoulders, and usually they're guys and girls with kind of rounded shoulders and a lot of postural issues. And so the dip, I don't think, is the best exercise for a lot of people, specifically really deconditioned populations. Doesn't mean you never can. It just means that that's one of those exercises down the road that as you progress and you get better and your shoulder kind of comes back into alignment and you get stronger and your joints and ligaments are more used to that tension under a stretch, then it can become a much better option for you. But as a beginner, I really don't think that a dip is something that you should probably be doing. And if you do, be really mindful of, do you have soreness in your shoulder the day after or the week after? Is that stretch too much for you? And if it is, that's okay. Perfect alternatives are probably the best alternative is a push-up. Not many people do push-ups. And I don't know why. I think it's because we think it's too easy. We think it's too basic, and yet the irony is that very, very few people can do a really good push-up with the elbows tucked in and keeping everything super tight. That's, in my book, that kind of gymnastic style of a really ideal push-up. And from there you can kind of go out. But, we're getting down a different road here. But the idea is that, if you're doing dips, kind of, be really careful of, is it too much of a stretch on your shoulder? And maybe ask your trainer or someone that knows what's another alternative. And very well it could be that a push-up is a perfect place to start. So, food for thought. All right, thanks guys.